Torp here. I said a long time ago, I'm going to say it again. Not that any of you guys have ever heard this, by the way. This goes back to my old school days. Back here on the tubes, as we called it. You ever notice that you got a couple characters up here on a subject that goes on and on and on and on? And you wonder to yourself, what's the next video going to be? What's it going to be about? Who's going to attack who? What facts they got? You know? Who are their friends? Who's their clique? Clickety, click, click, click. You may not know this, but most of these guys aren't actually in a clique. What they are is feeding the fam what they want. See, that's the trick, you see. Feeding the fam what they want. Let's say, nobody's going to show up for dinner if you call out the dinner menu and everybody's like, oh, man, hell no. No. I'll give me a Big Mac. Fuck that shit. I eat beans and rice tonight. So what they got to do is they got to make sure that you want what they are serving. How do you do that? Well, if two guys are saying, I love you, the other guy's saying, I love you too, what's going to happen? Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, here we go. Bro Fast 99. That's what we used to call it. Bro Fast 99. In other words, it's just two guys that are so much in love with each other, or at least apparently, nobody even gives a fuck. So what you got to do? Simple. You merely make it out. You can even call a motherfucker on the phone. You can do a PM of some sort, an email if you got that info. Tell them, let's make it look like we really hate each other. Let's really go at it. Best part about that is for those two is they trust each other. So they can have all kinds of fun. They can say all the nastiest shit about each other they want. It's all good. Rest of us, guess what we see? Oh, here he goes. Oh, here it comes. He gonna blast him. Dude, he ain't blasting nobody. What he's doing is playing smart. That's what he's doing. All this shit leads up to what I'm about to say. I first came up on the YouTube in this here gig community, and I noticed something very relevant. There was a lot of people I thought were very negative about, I'm just going to say DoorDash. The rest of you know all the apps. So fuck the dumb, I'm not going to say them all. But I'm just going to use DoorDash. DoorDash itself is a kick-ass app. It's a kick-ass idea, and it's a kick-ass way to make money. Has been since day one. So many people have fucked it and screwed it up on their own. Now, don't get me wrong. There is that 1 out of 10 times where DoorDash just fucks you. Let's not lie. That's happened to me. The GPS has lost control. The damn order gets reassigned, you lose one of those. I mean, come on now. Leave it door. Somebody says they didn't get it. That's not us. That's just DoorDash and all that garbage. But at the end of the day, mostly it's just awesome. It's like, had they not come up with this beautifully wonderful $1 billion idea, none of us would have anything to bitch at each other about, or had any money in our pocket from it. So that's where I was when I came in to this here gig community. It was like, all the videos I watched, whether it be Pedro or Nugs or Sarah or Gig Mom, oh my Kimmy, there was so many. And those were some that stuck out. All the positive vibes, all the kick-ass tips and tricks. And now only one of them is talking negative about it from that old when I got here, and that's Pedro. He's Mr. Negative. He's some people say, yeah, but he's got a good idea. He's being real now since he's making all the money in his market. He's right. Just listen to him. If you get out now or have a good backup plan, have you ever noticed they never tell you what the backup plan actually is? They never give you that info. You might want to look at a W-2. You might want to look at doing both. You might want to look at a vending machine. You might want to look at selling cars. You might want to look at picking up cans on the side of the highway. I don't know what it is you're going to do, but you better do something. It's like, wait a minute, weren't you running around the fucking this is the awesome tree for the longest time saying, hey, tips and tricks. Does anybody remember that? Because it's been lost. Nobody does them anymore. Why? Because they're tired of it and they lost their audience. That's the only reason. But yet they're still doing ride-alongs, aren't they? My point is that if you're still doing ride-alongs, if you're still on DoorDash, why in the fuck aren't you saying, this is the best thing since sliced bread? Otherwise, I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel, by the way, or be monetized, by the way. I wouldn't even be here making money on YouTube if it wasn't for DoorDash. Not what they say, though. What they say is, well, I took a break, I took a month off, and I feel much better in the head. My body feels cleansed. My mind feels cleansed. I found God. Where the hell does that leave everybody else? The sheep, I understand. They're like, yeah, Pedro's right. Fuck this monkey. Fuck this horse. I'm going to climb this tree and jump off the top of it and hope I find a nail that I can put my head in when I get to the bottom. This is ridiculous. I need to get the fuck out. Sheep, jump off the tree then. The rest of us are still like, nah, dude, this shit still works for me. Which leads me to my last point. If it doesn't work for you, the way that you're doing it in your market, you might want to think about doing something else. Or, if you want to do what I did in the very beginning, that might work too. Find positive vibes, find people that are actually still learning, because it's still changing in the app. The algorithm changes, the markets change, and the programs change. These guys make it sound like it's the end of the world. It's all over. It's like, dude, that is not how you got here. And for a lot of us, it still works. So my problem is, like, why don't you just say, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And if I wasn't so negative towards it, maybe it would work better. But since it sucks in my market so bad, I need to express myself about what can be fixed in my market. Because I couldn't tell you in Kentucky what the fuck is going on in Chicago, California, Idaho, Tahoe, or any of these other channels, Florida. I have no idea. Why in the fuck would I make a video that's going to go around the world and say, you might want to have an exit strategy? It's like, how about this? How about go back to your roots, the one that got you here on YouTube with AdSense, making money, and now all of a sudden you've turned a positive into a negative all by yourself, by the way. I don't remember anybody ever saying, well, Pedro got screwed over by DoorDash, so now he's just going to move on. He's going to do Instacart, and he's going to do this, and he's got big things coming. I heard the same thing on other channels about DoorDash Revolution. He keeps on saying, watch my playlist, and you learn something. The man's got a point. Do you want to hear a 35-minute video on how to do it? When he's already made a 5-minute video about 2 months ago on how to do it? Go back and do his playlist and check it out. Hey, everybody else is doing it. They're advertising. It's called advertising. Nobody seems to mind it when they're getting paid on AdSense for it. Yet a guy brings it up and says, watch my playlist. I did mention it before. Nugs did it 100 times. Nobody's bitching him for it. And so did Pedro. Pedro does it constantly. All the time. He's like, hey, I've made a lot of videos about this. They put links in their video where you can go watch the old ones. And I heard somebody say it just tonight. Just tonight. Mr. Flex. He did tell him how to do it. He did give the tips and tricks on how to do it. The problem is that nobody likes the idea that he's buddies with Reese. I'll be honest with you. Every once in a while, Reese gets on my nerves. But so does Flex. So does Pedro. So does Nugs. So does everybody. It's like we're one big happy family at Thanksgiving. By the way, I would never knock Flex ever, but I did notice one thing. When he's on his ride-alongs, he keeps it so real. That's what really gripped me when I first met the guy. But in his lounge, he's super laid back. But when he's in his ride-alongs, he's super wired. And I love that about him. I do. I like that about him. So my last point, again, is that even someone like Dino, that I went round and round with for a whole 5 minutes, we all have a solid point for our own market. Everybody needs to remember that. So our opinions are kind of null and void for everybody else. I like to call people out. or give him a little bit of respect. Flex, you're the man when it comes to this. You've been the man for a long time. No denying that, dude. If I had your bankroll and I had your following, hey, man, I'd be like, well, you can hate me all you want. It ain't going to change a damn thing. You know what? He's right. But I don't hate the man. I think he's all right. He's good people, man. I mean, if he's got it figured out in his market, bam! Go ahead, argue with him. Go ahead. Have a fight with him. Text away. Tell him how wrong he is. You be full of shit yourself. It's like, wait, he got his market figured out, so why am I bitching at him? Same thing with Nugs. He figured out not only DoorDash, but Google AdSense. So did Pedro. I can't knock him for that. I just never liked the way that they did it. That's all. I just never liked the way that they did it. The rest of us bottom feeders are like, it must be fucking nice, but now all you're doing is being negative and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I love when they talk about Nugs. Hey, man, he's a funny motherfucker. Ha ha, very funny motherfucker. That kind of shit. It's like, yeah, he's a comedian now. Pedro. Oh, man, the things that Pedro does to me in my head. I wish somebody would mock that up and put some cheese to it. The things he does to me in my head. It's like mental diarrhea. He'll just sit there and eat. He never used to eat until Flex was doing it in video. Have you guys noticed it? No. He just constantly eats. He's like, you know what a sign is when you're eating? That means you're relaxed and chill. Nothing's bothering you. Best way to win an argument is not to let people get to you. Best way to let them know they're not getting to you is like, now, dude, I'm going to have a cigarette and a beer. I'm just eat my cheese coney. I'm good, man. I got some spare ribs from the Japanese place. I'm just fine. I'm fine. You know you can't get to a man like that, so why bother? Now, I know that right before I got on to YouTube to find out what was going on with DoorDash since I was new, I was nothing but intrigued and I did nothing but learn. Even from people not in my market, tips and tricks that help me with the app. Customers' houses, how to find them in the dark, how to do apartments, how to do businesses, how to do stacks. I miss those days. That's what it should be again. But this is fun too, but this isn't helping anybody. This right here is a cesspool. It's mental diarrhea at its finest. And I think that we all need to wear a diaper on our ears because some of this shit's ridiculous. Hey, man. Hey. What? What's your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony. What's your name? Pedro. Fuck you, Pedro. That's a TikTok thing, but it so applies. It's like, I've heard fuck twerp. I don't know, so many fucking, it's like, you seriously? You're being real. You're going to do names like that. That's blew my mind. A sign of respect in the YouTube community is calling somebody by their actual channel name. That's the sign of respect. It's so bad we're used to hearing people call each other by their channel name, but mocking it up and twisting it to make it, oh, hey, twerp. I call him twerp. That was me. I get the points tonight. Give me the cookie. I get the award. Hey, I call him twat. I get a cookie too. You guys can't be serious. That's it. That was the whole theme of your plan of going to after somebody was, let's just call him by a different name, man. Let's just call him by a different name, man. We're gonna piss him off. We're gonna look like gods up on this bitch. We're gonna look like Pedro. Toda Santiago. I have come to you with advice, prosperity, and knowledge that you should listen to. How much did I make on AdSense tonight? Oh, fuck me! I made that much? Ah ha ha! Oops, shit, I'm still alive. I'm doing so good on AdSense, I must be doing something right. Yay! I get another mushroom for free. I'm kicking ass and taking names. I got news for you, though. When you go to sleep at night, know this. You've been paid by sheep. Sheep. All right. It's all right, though. Don't worry about that. I ain't knocking sheep. If you can get paid by some woolly, get you some woolly. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I wish I could find some sheep. That'd be great. People just, I don't care what he says. He must be right. Why? Because everybody else said he was right. Including him. Just ask him. Oh, God. People, quit regurgitating what you hear from people. What do you think? I know what I think. I think I'm tired of listening to sheep. So, go out there and make your money any way you see you can. I wasn't afraid of DoorDash until I got on YouTube. Before then, I was just on it. Anyway, see you on the next episode of What's Up in Torqueville. Torp out.